What's going on, everybody? Grady here for another video, and today we're going to be reviewing a very fun car. Back doing videos out here in the middle of Michigan. Let's get to it. Here he is. Car reviews. I'm here with my buddy Mark. We're going to be doing the review on this 2018 Civic Si Coupe. I'm really excited to dive into today's video. I've always loved seeing these Civics, and I'm really excited to drive it. This is the first Civic with the turbocharged engine, so that's going to be different. And there's no VTEC in it, right? No. That's first Civic Si in a while. That's or if all ever that has no VTEC. So let's hop on the road and see how it drives. Are off. Woo! All right, first things first. So turbocharged engine. That's a big deal. No more revving it out to 8,000 RPM and VTEC kicking in, yo. It's just a much more different power experience with this. I love rolling through the gears, but getting that boost, this thing kicks up and goes. I love it. 6-speed manual transmission, going to the front wheels as always. None of that's changed. But a 1.5 liter with 205 horsepower. What's the 0 to 60 on this again?
Probably about 5.5 seconds.
5.5 seconds.
6 seconds.
This specific one has a aftermarket tune on it, so it's doing about 250 horsepower or so at the crank. I can tell by my butt dyno that it is quite a bit faster than your usual hot hatch of this caliber. But we're turning into some twisty back roads, and we'll see how it goes. The manual transmission is just fantastic. I mean, this is something Honda's been known for forever. I mean, ever since their inception, they've always been able to do manual transmissions super well. I love it. Rolling into that boost, it's a unique power experience because it does actually have quite a bit of low-end grunt, especially with this tune. Steering right away, very nice, super connected. It's not a very big steering wheel, but it's actually does a great job of giving you a good feel in your hands. Popping down the downshift. I love it. Very cool. Looking forward, actually, it's what's super neat about this generation. This is the 10th generation Civic, is that it's got a digital gauge cluster, and that part, it gives a really unique experience looking forward and seeing the tachometer in a digital sense, kind of arcing over this gauge, and then the big layout of the speed, which is always good to keep in mind on a twisty back road like this. So right now we're in sport mode, which has an adaptive suspension setting, which stiffens things up just a little bit, which is great for a road like this. This is a very nice little road right outside of Midland, where we're based at. Looking out the rest of the interior, it's actually a really nice place to be. These seats are super comfortable. I love all the different supports that it has, and very comfortable especially for my body type. I fit in the car really well. I'm about 6'1", and I'm a slim guy, but you know, I do take up a lot of real estate when I'm in cars, so it's really nice to be able to have a pretty good range of motion. And with Mark and I sitting in the seats, we're not rubbing shoulders. It's not a very tight car, but it is very small by modern standards. You said it's about what, 2,800 pounds, 2,900 pounds.
Yeah. It's
not a very big car, but it's very comfortable. It's very planted on the road. I mean, we're going allegedly a speed, and it's very quiet in here. I can have a good conversation. Visibility is very nice. Has a very large windshield looking forward. View out the sides is great. A great little quirk I got for this thing is when you hit the blinker, you have a little camera that comes on off from the right-hand mirror, and that displays an image of the traffic in your blind spot, which is really great. But that's not why we're here. We're out taking some great turns. So nice, and it's so easy to get going. That one thing I do notice right away is the clutch feel. There's not really a ton of engagement between the clutch. The throw is relatively short, but what I'm noticing is that there's kind of this numbness to the pedals, and that's across all of them, the brakes, the throttle, and the clutch. And it's kind of it's different. I'm used to driving some cars with a little bit heavier setups. This one, it's not bad by any means. Once you kind of figure it out and you're driving along for a little bit, there's actually a lot of engagement. This one has a aftermarket little metal shift knob, which actually feels really good in your hands for either spirited driving or daily driving. How long have you had this car?
I've had this car working on 2 years.
That's awesome, and so far so good.
No problems. Had the tune on for about a year. Nothing yet.
That's awesome. And do you plan on keeping it, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it as long as I can. You know, kid in college wants a quick little car.
Sure.
Low payments.
Totally. Makes sense. And honestly, for being the SI variant, it really does hold its own. I've noticed that. I mean, I know you and I always lust after the Type R's. And,
Oh yeah.
I mean, right now, we're going for sure.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. I really enjoy what we're going on here. I mean, overall, as I said, super nice interior. This 10th generation Civic, I really can't complain. The materials are very nice. It's got a very neat design in the interior. The way all the gauges are laid out, to the infotainment system, to even things like the sunroof and the cool rear wing out in the back. I'm a big fan of these cars, and a lot of people don't talk about them the way I think they should. Everybody, especially in our little world of automotive here in the Detroit area especially, is all about the domestics. Even the stuff like the Focus ST, which by all means is a great car. My friend Peter, who co-hosts that podcast with me, I know we've talked about that a lot. He's got a 2014 ST, and that's a great car. It's a really comfortable car. It's cool, it's fast, whatever. But I think that there's a lot that people don't talk about with the Civics that is highly underrated. I mean, the one thing I've noticed right away is the engine note isn't...
It's not the best.
It's not the best.
It's not.
It's not the best, but it's not the new. You're looking into some exhaust.
Yeah,
right?
but at the end of the day, it's a daily. You don't want it to be obnoxiously loud if you're just cruising on the highway.
And that's the one thing. My friend's got the ST, and he's got a Roush.
Yeah, I'd like it to be a little bit louder.
It sounds cool, but it's just not. It's not good for.
It's not very. This is a very refined car.
It is very refined. And
the only thing that's done to it is the shift knob, which isn't even really a mod, and the tune. That's it.
Exactly. No, it's highly underrated because it is really comfortable, and I was expecting with it being 2,800, 2,900 pounds, is that it was going to be a lot more bouncy
and floaty,
and I'm kind of, I'll be honest, a little like dinky, because it just doesn't, the weight doesn't add up.
Yeah.
But you get in it, and everything in here, especially all the materials that you're touching, the steering wheel is very nice. I love the stitching.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Civic. It's going to be a good car.
Civic.
It's going to be a good car.
But and it is really a good car.
It's made well. It's not the nicest car. It's just a nice daily, and that's a little bit faster.
Absolutely, and that part of it is really, really nice. We got ourselves, we're trailing behind a bus here, so it's
got to be careful with the kiddies around.
Yeah, exactly. But oh my gosh, I love the way the steering in this car.
The steering's great. It's not
super nice.
It's not, from my experience, it's not very, like, you can't feel a lot, but it's very tight.
Sure.
And it turn-in is very quick. It's got a tight steering rack.
Absolutely. And
you don't have to move the wheel very much at all.
You really don't.
For it to dart.
Oh yeah, no, for what it is. I mean,
it's a good size wheel. I like a smaller wheel.
Sure, and that I honestly think that enhances the experience a lot.
Yeah, you feel like you're doing more. You got more control.
You do. You feel. I mean, that's something people talk about a lot with modifying cars. Is a lot of cars that have sporty cars. I'm saying sporty cars.
Mm-hmm.
If they have really big steering wheels, people end up doing steering wheel modifications.
Yeah.
And making them smaller, doing an aftermarket wheel to make it smaller, because it actually makes the drive. It's almost like permanently installing a more aggressive steering rack.
Mm-hmm.
It gives it. You have to kind of pull the wheel a little more because you ultimately have less torque on the components as you're turning it, because you have a smaller wheel. And I like the look of this wheel. It's very, very nice. I love the carbon fiber accents here on the bottom.
That's me.
Okay,
that's all me.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that was. Did you?
Yeah, it's just a 3M sticker.
Okay, really?
Yeah, it's cool though.
Really?
Yeah.
That genuinely fooled me. I thought it looked really sharp.
Yeah, it's
because
cool.
There's kind of that design that flows onto the rest of the
dashboard.
I
mean, obviously, it's it's not the.
No, but
again, it's a Civic.
I honestly really enjoy the look. That's so funny. I got totally fooled on that one.
Yeah.
I know we're stuck behind a bus here, but either way, this has actually been this is a fun type of review that I'm going to be doing here. It's more like a one-take style. If you guys ever watched The Smoking Tire, which I believe.
Shout out to Matt Farah.
Shout out to Matt Farah, because it makes a lot of sense for what I'm doing, and it's quick, it's easy. You just get out on it. There's a nice little road that's out here in town, and it's a great way to test the handling of the car, the quality of the car. And it's quiet too. We don't have to worry about much traffic besides that bus, which was conveniently there. But now it's free to go, and we can bring it out. This is awesome.
It's just a fun little car.
go, 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 and it is so easy. I do love that shifter feel. That feels so nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
But as I'm kind of going, as I said, with the pedals being a kind of a bit of a numb sensation.
Yeah, if you get in and drive it and you haven't been in it, you're going to be like, oh, this thing...
It's a little weird. Yeah, right now, I'm already...
When I get into other cars, I'm like, well, this thing feels really good.
Oh, absolutely.
But this, yeah, it's definitely number.
And as I'm driving it, I'm starting to feel where everything is, where the points are, where everything catches, and where everything goes. Or we're turning onto this straight road here, as we're going to get into it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little.
We got winter tires on her, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I really like the way that power delivery is. You can actually get a lot of
power. It kicks really good at 3,000.
Sure. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That is really fun. This is great. These are really fun cars.
Fun little car.
They are fun little cars.
It's not terrifyingly fast. Like cars today are just so fast.
Sure.
It's refreshing to be able to use all the power and to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't want to be like this all the time. You know,
you get completely planted in the back of your seat, and I get that. And there are cars. That's why the beauty.
And that's great in its own right.
Yeah, and it's for a daily driver, for being your one and only car. The fact
this is my only car.
Yeah, the fact that you can go out on a road like this and really enjoy it and have a really fun time with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really can't complain.
And still get 30 miles to the gallon.
That is very true. That is very, very true. And that part of it is great. I mean, we live in such an amazing time, right?
I mean, it's crazy.
With cars being as technologically advanced as they are, as safe as they are, quiet, comfortable, full of every bit of technology that you've ever wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we got CarPlay, dual zone climate control, heated seats, and anything you would ever need, honestly.
Little details like in the gauge cluster with the illuminated gauges, and then the shift lights and stuff that you can have. It's really neat. It's a fun experience, but all in all, as a Civic, it's still a great car. We were joking around earlier, walking through an auto parts store. He's like, I've never been here as going in and getting auto car parts because I've never needed it. And I mean, you wouldn't, right? I mean, it's a Civic. It works. It runs. I mean, this thing, you could just run it.
You beat the piss out of it.
You could beat the absolute snot out of this thing. And it is just going to take it into the end of time. Absolutely to the end of time. Roll that boost on. That is so fun. No. I mean, we've driven cars.
Oh, we've driven very fast cars.
But for what it is, I mean, like traction controls kicked on, but it's so easy. What I've noticed is there are limits, for the road and stuff, but it's very accessible power, very fun and enjoyable. Because a lot of cars, the biggest battle with cars that are getting faster and faster is that they're not even fun at low speeds.
Right.
And this kind of takes you back to a time where cars are just they're just more fun, even though they're arguably slower. I mean, yes, you can.
It's more tossable. You can do more with it than what you have.
It's very tossable. Cars. He and I always talk about it with the GT3 Porsche. I mean, the 911 GT3.
It's a race car for the street.
It's a race car for the street. And I've never personally driven one. You said you were out on one.
I've driven one on a track, and it is unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. And I can't fault him for that.
It's the best car I've ever driven. Certainly not the fastest, but
one of the best.
The way, I don't even know how to describe it, just the way it drives is so superior to anything else I've ever driven. It just steers so well. It just squats, that rear engine. Oh my God, it's so good. And the noise with the PDK. And again, not too much power, but enough to enjoy yourself.
Jay Leno, I always watch Jay Leno's Garage, and something he always said is, a slow car fast or a fast car slow. I mean, it's arguably, being able to ring out 2, 3, maybe 4 gears on a road and not really be breaking the speed limit is just such a blast. And that part of it, I love about this thing.
Oh yeah.
These cars are underrated, and people need to buy more of them. There need to be more companies out there that are selling these types of cars. I know Honda, you've been doing it for a long time. I'm glad that Hyundai's doing it. There's talk of Toyota doing it soon with a possible GR, Yaris, or Corolla thing. This realm of cars needs to be more heavily populated because they are great cars, fun to drive, tossable, and kind of back to basics. And from that, I just wanted to sign off on everything. This was a really fun, quick drive video on the 2018 Civic Si Coupe. Make sure to check us out on social media, @Grady Eager. Thank you guys all for watching. Thanks.